Are you wondering if someone in your life is truly evil? It's not always easy to spot, but today we're going to unveil the telltale signs. There is a disturbing pleasure that some individuals derive from causing others pain, both physically and emotionally. This sadistic tendency is more than just a power play. It's a deep-rooted desire to see others suffer. They don't just inflict harm, they revel in the anguish and despair of their victims. This trait is often masked under the guise of tough love or brutal honesty, but in reality, it's a manifestation of their malevolent nature. Lying is a common characteristic amongst evil people. They weave intricate webs of deceit, manipulation, and falsehoods to serve their selfish desires. Their lies are not just occasional slips or white lies. They are chronic, pathological, and designed to deceive. They manipulate truths, distort reality, and fabricate stories with such proficiency that it becomes almost impossible to differentiate fact from fiction. Craving chaos and discord, evil people thrive on the misery of others. They create drama, stir up conflict, and incite discord wherever they go. Their life is a whirlwind of turmoil, and they seem to draw energy from it. They delight in the discomfort of others and often instigate situations that lead to chaos. They are the storm that never settles, constantly brewing trouble and strife. Narcissism is another telling sign. Evil people have an inflated sense of self-importance and an insatiable need for attention and admiration. They consider themselves superior to others and expect to be treated as such. They are self-obsessed, viewing the world through a self-centric lens where they are the sun and everyone else merely orbits around them. Criticism is their weapon of choice. Evil people are excessively critical of others, always finding faults and never appreciating the good. Their critical nature is not constructive, but destructive, designed to belittle and demean. No matter how hard you try, nothing you do is ever good enough for them. They persistently pick at your flaws, making you feel inadequate and worthless. Narcissism is a common trait among evil individuals. They often have an inflated sense of self-importance, fueled by a deep-seated need for excessive attention and admiration. Such individuals believe they are superior to others and expect to be treated as such. They're often intolerant of criticism and demand constant praise and validation. Criticism is another weapon in their arsenal. These individuals are excessively critical of others, finding fault even in the most insignificant things. They rarely give credit where it's due and instead focus on highlighting shortcomings. Nothing ever seems to be good enough for them, and this constant criticism can be incredibly damaging to the self-esteem of those around them. Another disturbing trait is their inability to accept responsibility. They are never wrong in their eyes. Any mistakes, mishaps, or undesirable outcomes are always someone else's fault. This constant blame-shifting allows them to maintain their superior self-image and avoid taking responsibility for their actions. Control is a significant aspect of their behavior. Evil individuals often want to dictate every aspect of your life, from what you wear to who you speak to. They strive to have complete control over you, often resorting to manipulation and coercion to achieve their objectives. This controlling behavior is a form of power play, designed to make you feel dependent and powerless. Lastly, evil individuals are also characterized by extreme selfishness. They care only about their own needs and desires, with little to no regard for the feelings or well-being of others. Their actions are driven by self-interest, and they are willing to exploit others to achieve their goals, showing a lack of empathy and understanding. Evil people are often plagued by a deep-seated envy. They covet what others possess and harbor resentment towards those who seemingly have more. This envy is not limited to material possessions, but extends to relationships, opportunities, and even the happiness and contentment of others. They also exhibit unreasonably high levels of jealousy. This jealousy isn't just confined to romantic relationships, but permeates all aspects of their lives. The thought of others having relationships or success outside of their sphere of influence is unbearable to them. Isolation is another tool in their arsenal. They aim to control your interactions with others, thereby maintaining their influence over you. By isolating you from your support network, they attempt to become the primary influence in your life, manipulating your perceptions and reality. Spitefulness is a defining characteristic of evil people. They hold grudges for perceived slights, no matter how minor or unintentional. They are not above seeking revenge, often going out of their way to cause harm to those who they believe have wronged them. Deception is second nature to these individuals. They constantly manipulate the truth to serve their own ends, even when honesty would suffice. This deceit is not just limited to telling lies, but can also include withholding information or misrepresenting facts to paint a picture that suits their narrative. Evil people often leave a trail of harm and destruction without exhibiting any signs of remorse or guilt. They can hurt others, both physically and emotionally, without batting an eyelid. Their lack of empathy and inability to feel guilt are chilling, reflecting a void where a conscience should be. Their indifference to the pain of others is another striking trait. They may belittle, dismiss, or even ignore the suffering they inflict. They are so absorbed in their own world that the distress of others barely registers. This indifference might not stem from ignorance, but rather from a cold-hearted refusal to acknowledge the pain they cause. Humiliation is a tool they often use to assert power. They derive a perverse pleasure from belittling others, reveling in the sense of superiority it brings. This behavior often serves as a means to control and instill fear. They manipulate situations to make others feel inferior, thus boosting their ego and establishing dominance. Their charm can be deceptive. They are often excessively charismatic, using their charm to manipulate and deceive. Their charisma can draw people towards them, making it easier for them to exploit those who fall under their spell. This charm is a facade carefully constructed to hide their true intentions. The victim card is another common trait in their arsenal. They portray themselves as the victim, irrespective of the situation. This tactic enables them to manipulate others by garnering sympathy. By playing the victim, they shift the blame, avoid taking responsibility, and successfully divert attention from their malevolent deeds. Evil people's complete disregard for moral values is a major warning sign. They show no respect for the boundary between right and wrong, often stepping over it without hesitation. Their only objective is to fulfill their own desires, even if it means causing harm to others. Their actions are driven by selfishness and greed, without any consideration for the consequences of their actions on other people. The unpredictability of their behavior is another red flag. One minute they might be calm and charming, and the next they could be flying off the handle in anger. This sudden shift in moods and behaviors keeps those around them on edge, never knowing what they might do next. This unpredictability is often used as a control mechanism, keeping others in a constant state of anxiety and fear. Evil people are never satisfied, regardless of what they have. Their constant craving for more often drives them to extreme lengths to achieve their desires. They are never content with what they have, always comparing themselves to others and feeling a sense of resentment towards those who have more. This insatiable desire for more often leads them to act in harmful ways, with no regard for how their actions might affect others. Quick to anger, evil people often have a short fuse. They can become aggressive and violent at the slightest provocation. Their temper is unpredictable and can be set off by the smallest things. This quick temper often leads to explosive outbursts, where they can cause significant harm to those around them. Possessiveness to an extreme level is another sign of an evil person. They view people around them as their possessions and can become jealous and controlling if someone shows any sign of independence. This possessiveness often extends to their relationships, where they can become overly jealous and controlling, stifling the other person's freedom and independence. Evil individuals often exhibit a dismissive nature, belittling the thoughts and feelings of those around them. This tactic is used to make others feel insignificant and unimportant, reinforcing their own perceived superiority. By making you question your own worth, they maintain control and ensure their own needs are prioritized. Paranoia is another common trait observed in malevolent people. They are perpetually suspicious of others, often accusing those around them of betrayal without any cause. This constant state of mistrust serves to isolate their victims, making them easier to control and manipulate according to their whims. Lastly, evil people tend to avoid apologies at all costs. They seldom see any fault in their actions, regardless of the harm they cause. Their inability to acknowledge their mistakes or express remorse is a clear indicator of their lack of empathy and disregard for others' feelings. This refusal to apologize also helps them maintain an image of infallibility, further asserting their dominance and control. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in today's content and want to dive deeper into similar topics, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This way you'll never miss out on our upcoming videos. Also, if you're interested in more exclusive content, check out our other videos linked in the description below. And for more insights and tips, be sure to watch our next video. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to share more with you. So go ahead, click on that next video, and let's continue this journey together.